When I'm talking to this 12-year-old trying to explain something that she can't comprehend, I went down the messages and she said, yeah, and she even has an orange cat too. And I go, she's mirroring the answers.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through the responses,
Yeah.
and you could see the child. When I hit one that made sense, she went, and the whole world crashed down on her.
Hello and welcome back to The Movement, a podcast which resources, empowers and develops leaders in the fight against human trafficking. We are on part 2 of a series that is going into helping your kids by helping yourself in education, trying to give you as much information as possible so that you can protect your kids as part of our 2026 new look. So with us we have in the studio Dottie Laster, who is an expert and has been involved in hundreds of rescues or helping of people exiting trafficking. And we're going to get back to, we left the last show with some homework, which was what? Do you remember the homework?
Yes, the homework that we left you with. And if you want to, go back and listen to those episodes if you haven't already. But get online with your kids.
Yeah.
Manage that. Don't hand the car keys over to them, meaning the keys to the internet, unsupervised.
Mm-hmm.
When you learn to drive, somebody was in the car with you helping you learn. Same thing here. So grab those keys back, get into your kids' lives on the internet.
So the subject, let's open with AI, since, in fact, probably if we were talking technology literacy and apps and applications, and not everyone is up to speed on that. But you have to become up to speed. And so now we're going to talk about the emerging AI. How is that looking? How is that affecting the world of trafficking and potential grooming?
I and others are seeing AI used now to groom.
Oh, really?
That just scares me even more.
So how does that work? I mean, let's assume people don't know what AI is.
So artificial intelligence means that the computer learns from responses. It's not someone typing it in per se.
Mm-hmm.
It has code and all kinds of things that I don't understand. I just know the output. And the output is that AI can learn to groom your child. So it's quicker and more effective than a person.
Right.
And the people are already pretty good at it.
But this is like the best at it.
Yes, and I saw another colleague of mine report, and I don't know how this happened. I'm learning, but I'm not really completely caught up on AI. But he claims he had a case where AI dispatched a rideshare to pick up the kid. And so those are things that are already happening with people individually doing it.
Yeah.
Those kids are going missing that way, where they walk out the house and anonymous rides get them to where the bad guy is. But now with the computer doing it, oh my gosh, I don't know the end of this. I don't know how widespread, but I do have a case referred by Red M that I believe involved. It's still being investigated, but when I looked at it, I believed it was AI.
Wow.
And this child almost died.
Wow. What can you share some of that detail, or is that
Well, the
appropriate?
grooming was so efficient, and all the indicators that we discussed in our previous podcasts were there. But when I looked at it, you couldn't find a person, even though the victim thought it was a person.
Wow.
And so I was using my old term bots. I thought that they had programmed some bots. Well, what is that?
That is AI.
AI. And so AI is just the quicker, more evolved version of the bots.
So traffickers are using AI. AI isn't operating on its own. That's not what we're talking about here. We're saying someone which makes them clean from being able to be found is using it to get a child to them, and they believe they're having a relationship with AI, which is, if you've never experienced it, it is very easy. You may even have talked to AI and not know that you have, because it's replicating human language.
Correct. And it's seductive. So in this particular case, the person believed she's in love with someone she's never met. I see that all the time.
Yeah.
But this is even heightened in its intensity. And so that computer learns you.
Yeah.
And it's not just learning what you type. It's gathering everything about you.
That ever was. That's,
and manipulating you through your own keystrokes.
So I will say, because I do know this subject, AI and the tech on the other side, because I have people on my team who write that code and use that code. But also what's available from my marketing side is I can buy an image of you from whoever is selling it, and they gather from multi-source, and they actually have who you are, your preferences, your clicks, what you do. That exists on everyone. Your voice, your face, all of that stuff is available for purchase, and marketers are doing it today.
Yeah.
So you combine AI with that because it's available in the market. Nobody's checking who bought that information. It's just available to purchase from whatever, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you've ever done.
Yeah.
That
anything free, you wear the product.
Right, exactly. When we were going back to, you should be skeptical. Should have been skeptical a long time ago. Too late now.
20 years ago minimum.
Yeah, we should have. MySpace, you should have known.
By MySpace.
But I mean, those still exist. So they're out there with your favorite song, and so they've been modeling your personality and building it in a virtual environment, and sell it today. So you combine that with AI, which means the risk is high. Also, wisdom in keeping kids off of systems before they're old enough to tell the difference. I mean, today I have this conversation where people say, well, this, my boss said it to me one day, this looks like it was written by AI. I said, that's funny, because if it was probably going to be better than humans. But if it wasn't better than humans, tomorrow it will be.
Yeah.
And it learns that fast and adapts that fast. And so the real human connection, I guess, is the answer in some of this, is the be careful what you share, which is one of the things we share on our platform, is be careful with kids' images.
Yeah. You
should not be sharing them, nor should they. That's just a reality, whether we should have ever been sharing images, but here we are. But knowing that is a risk. But at the same time, I guess the education is real people are really important in your relationships.
Yes, real love. Because this child I'm talking about fell in love with something that doesn't exist, and she can't come back from it.
Yeah.
It may have been her first love, and it pushed her over a precipice that is darker than the dark I usually deal with.
Yeah.
So I want parents to understand you must be up to date.
Yeah.
And you
this
must
is good.
be
This is good
current.
Because what I'd like people to, because this is the, I want to say fallacy of the day and age, is you're so busy that you can't look after your children. That's what we're describing here. So the answer is you need to adjust how busy you are to make sure that you're building connection and bond with children, as well as helping them navigate through this world.
100% agree with that. And that's not just my perspective, but the parents that I help. I know recently one was just devastated, a father had gone to work and done what he was supposed to do and checked all the boxes. And I honestly think he suffered more than the child. Not that the child, she suffered, but it shattered his psyche about being the protector of the family.
Right. He thought he'd done everything right.
And he looks back now and he finds the holes.
Yeah.
Well, please don't wait for that moment.
Right.
Look now. Please don't look back and regret.
Yeah.
So I speak for him when I say he thought he had it, and he did. I mean,
for the most part.
if you were checking a box, he did the check boxes.
Yeah.
But the problem is there isn't a checkbox.
Right.
There is just, you have to look at your child, as I started in that first episode. You have to look at your child the way bad guys look at your child.
Yeah.
Not changing your perception of them, but changing how you protect them. And it's really important to know that your child is precious. We say priceless. The bad guy says valuable. And I pause there for a reason. When you look at your child, they're priceless. When a bad guy looks at your child, they're valuable.
Right.
And so AI now coming along, artificial intelligence, machine learning, how do you combat that? Now look at a parent who's trying to combat that and go to my example of, do you give your kid the car keys before they've learned to drive? Now they've learned to drive, and it's not just a car, it's an F1 formula, whatever the fastest car is that, you're in F1 racing and they don't know how to drive yet.
Yeah.
That's the comparison of AI and the internet. And so we hand the keys to our kids to a race car now, and we have not taught them to drive.
I just keep picturing you traveling 100 miles an hour at a young age. But it's that.
My angels were really tired of flapping, trying to keep up.
I mean, there's an ad right now that it shows cars before they crash and people stepping out and talking to each other about what's happening and why they think they can't stop what they're doing. That's adults crashing cars.
Yeah.
Children, it's just, your chance of bad things are very high.
And to add to this, parents, again, looking at your children not just as you normally do, but stepping out of your role and looking as a child. I tell the story about my driving because it's so important. I had 4 friends that died due to speed. I went to their funeral. I saw their mom and dad cry.
Yeah.
Did I slow down? No, because your brain at that age doesn't connect. You are invincible in your mind until you're about 25 years old.
Right.
I did not know that till I went back to school and studied lifespan development. I go, no wonder I drove like a moron.
Yeah, makes sense now.
So parents, you cannot expect your children to protect themselves. Don't give them the keys. I certainly didn't deserve the keys. But don't give them the keys to the internet and put them in a Formula One race car and they haven't learned to drive yet.
Let's talk about someone hears you, I get it, action steps. How do they start that journey? Let's assume I know nothing. Let's say I'm not on the internet. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok. I don't know what that is. What's the journey for a parent?
I see that as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because now you can go to your kid and say, hey, show me how this works.
Nice. Actually, you're onto something. Parents ask me all the time, how do I engage this conversation? And I usually tell them, ask them to teach you how trafficking is working today. Because they'll be happy to tell you. They'll go research it with their research tool, which is usually TikTok or something else. But it puts the power in their hands to actually expose the story rather than you. If you tell them, they'll go, you don't understand. So this generation, because they have access to data, they think they're more powerful.
They do. There's a hubris. Oh my gosh. This is why I asked them to teach you, because it will blow their hubris up.
Correct. It's making them like, you're the expert. Please help me.
I've had kids sitting in my office, like talking to their grandma. I go, you don't know anything. You don't know how to work Instagram. I go, and you've never paid a mortgage. Shut up. This is after they've been in trouble, and I have to inform them they have no rights. Your children do not have rights.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to feed them, but they don't have rights.
Yeah.
And somebody needs to tell them that because somebody told them they do, and they're wrong.
And you need them to want to tell you. So it's a good balance. I was amazed that I went to a church-based training and on trafficking, and a couple had brought their daughter who was 11, hoping they would learn. And in the middle of it, I was seeing they're not teaching them any of this stuff. they're teaching them this is someone else, let's go help those people, which is good and nice. So I asked the parents, can I talk to your daughter? And they said, sure. And amazingly, never talked to her before in my life, went down eye level smiling
Yes.
and said, do your friends have older boyfriends? And she smiled and said, yes, which I purposely didn't ask if she did. And her parents' minds were blown because why would you never tell us that? So that's the challenge of this. I am building, never mind if you're being groomed or not, you're building a society outside of your family that informs you.
Yes.
So that's the intervention point. And so that's the question of how do you start moving up the learning to be able to protect them?
Well, let them teach you. And then take that knowledge and don't tell them everything you do. They don't need to know.
Right.
Because back to my example of my 4 friends died, and I didn't think that applied to me, that speed would not kill me.
Right. And your parents didn't know you were speeding?
No, I never got a ticket, never got caught, made sure no one was ever in the car with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived in the rural,
yeah.
I mean, there's buildings where I live now, but they were rice fields.
Sure.
It was a perfect place to be anonymous. Now, had one person watched me, I wouldn't have sped.
Yeah, would crumble down.
When my brother was in the car with me, I didn't speed. I had a younger brother. I only did it by myself. And that's the lesson here.
Mm-hmm.
I was isolated when I did those things that I knew weren't right, but I didn't have the brain power to control my foot.
So yeah, that's the task, is to either understand it, communicate it perhaps, or at least watch it to catch it.
Both.
Yeah.
I needed both.
Okay.
You know, and I was in ag and FFA where they show you all these accidents and, you know, the bloody films that we'll never forget.
Yeah.
Still did not slow me down.
Amazing.
And so it's really important to not only educate, inform, do the homework we talked about, but also be anonymous and watch them and be with them. So, yeah, you're busy parents, I know. But if your child goes missing, how busy are you going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Parents don't sleep, they don't eat, they don't go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could go weeks, months. In the book, 55 Things Parents and Grandparents Should Know, there's a story there about a dad that was very tech savvy. And his daughter went missing. She was gone 118 days. I got the case on day 115 and found her by 118. And it's not that he hadn't done everything right.
Yeah.
I just had a particular part of the puzzle.
Yeah.
So for 118 days, he doesn't sleep. He still has to go to work at some point, but his daughter's missing, so is he really working?
Yeah.
His work was dangerous. Was he in danger while going to work? You know, all these things. So there is no excuse about time.
Yeah.
Because trust me, if your child's missing, time...
You give it all up.
Yeah. And so invest in not doing that.
Yeah.
You don't want it because you don't come back the same. So expertise. Let your child show you.
Yeah.
But then you need to use that education and monitor and gather some more information on your own. You know, there's a YouTube video for everything. So ignorance of the internet is not an excuse. Use it for your good.
Yeah.
And then time. You're going to have to devote time to this so you can remember we talked about professional skepticism is turned to parental skepticism. Remember that. Of all the things we said, this is the key, parental skepticism. So that means you find something and you investigate around it. You document, support. Why is this person talking to my kid? Is it safe? Is it really the person that they think it is? Are they texting at 3 a.m.? That's a simple, just check the room at 3 a.m. What are they doing? Are they sleeping? Is it a school night? Are they asleep? You know, you can do this.
Yeah.
You really can.
Well, and I think what's daunting is you're saying in the driving analogy, don't let your kid drive without the proper development. It's the same with some of these things. Some of the parents don't know the technology. Well, you're going to have to learn the technology.
Hire a driver's ed teacher to help you and to help your kid.
Yeah.
We have a book.
There's a book.
There's a book. It's really short read.
Yeah.
It's really, really important that you start here. And then the next thing is educate the family. That's why it's not just to parents. It's
Yeah.
grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Because what rules you have at home may be different at grandma's house. And there's a story in the book about that.
Yeah.
How grandma undermined dad's protections and the child got trafficked and I had to go help find her.
Wow.
And we did, but she wasn't where you want to find her.
Yeah.
So really important that you bring your family on mission,
Yeah.
on mission statement.
Right.
And just because the government didn't protect your kids and police may or may not run every time there's a case, because they have certain criteria they have to meet. They can't jump every time your kid does something you don't like.
Yeah.
So you're the fallback. You're the first line defense and the fallback and the reinforcement.
Yeah.
And so it goes from you getting educated to having a mission with your family of education and watching. And your example is so perfect to ask the child about her friends.
Yeah.
Because I could tell you why my friends died in the car wreck.
Right.
I didn't tell you I was driving 100 miles an hour.
No, because you're not going to. That's why I asked the girl about her friends.
They see what happens to their friends, and they can tell you. So you need to enlist the siblings and the friends and the cousins to be educated. And so it's not a one-step deal. And yes, I know parents, you think you don't have time. Trust me, traffickers will make you have time.
Yeah.
Don't go there. And call it an investment in your time. Because you don't want to wake up and your kid be not in their bed where you put them when they went to sleep.
Yeah. So let me ask another one. Another trick and tool is there are softwares for monitoring digital use. What are your experiences in that space?
It started out really good. I had this great program that always worked, and then someone bought it and it went away.
Really?
Yes. And so now there is the Bark phone that's come out, although the children know they're being monitored with that phone.
Yeah.
And let me talk to you about how a bad guy sees that. He's
Yeah.
like, yay, good job, parents. He will let something come through on the phone that gets you to take the phone away or discipline them. And what are you going to do as a parent? You're probably going to delete that image and then take the phone away.
Yeah.
To which the bad guy is going, yay, right on script, parents. Because then he will drop a phone on them that you don't know about.
Okay.
And that image you deleted is now what I need to figure out who did that. So the parenting of even 20 years ago isn't necessarily the parenting you want to do today.
Yeah.
So you have to again go back to that perspective. How's the bad guy going to benefit from my parental decision? And remember, your kid cannot be separated from the internet.
Yeah.
They go to school, because this is probably the most common discussion I have with parents. Conflict, maybe even.
Yeah.
My kid's not on the internet. They go to school. Yeah. Their friends have phones. Yeah. Your kid's on the internet.
Right.
No, they're not. Okay. I'll get a sibling or something. Guess what? Yeah, she's been on the internet, for months.
Right.
And the kids, they don't have life experience to understand why you didn't want them on the internet.
Right.
So your kid's on the internet. You need to understand that.
Your television's on the internet.
Everything. Yes, I tried to get a TV without internet. You can't.
No, I woke
Your
up this
phone,
morning
you
and
can't
our
get.
television turned on because I was walking in front of it, and I was like, and it offered me weather and everything. I was just like, okay, here's another level. And it was the first time it dawned on me, of course, kids could get right on the internet through your television.
Yes. It's a login. The other thing is parent go, well, I took their device away. Well, so all they have to do is log in. They don't need the device.
Right.
So you need to, again, update your thinking about how this works. So you can take their phone away, but what's the protection that they don't get a device? And I have the protection.
Yeah.
Change your Wi-Fi router password because they're going to drop a phone on them that's not connected to anything. So they're going to use your Wi-Fi to connect with this bad guy when you take the phone away. So anyhow, that's just a simple solution. But
so keep changing it is where you're at.
if you had to take their phone away, then you
okay.
need to change that Wi-Fi password while
That's
they don't
good.
have a phone, because suddenly somebody's going to come ask you for the password. And then you're going to go,
Why would you
Wow.
need it?
Let me look at that closer. I think also you can see what devices are on your Wi-Fi.
Yes, you can.
So you want to monitor that as well. So I'm
Yeah.
not just giving you problems without solutions. There are solutions. And
Mhm.
parents, they come up with better solutions than I do sometimes. And I
Right.
add it to my list.
Mhm.
So you are not helpless in this.
Mhm.
You
Good.
have to not participate or participate without information in order to help the bad guy. And that's why we're here. We want to disrupt that.
How do predators use anonymity to build trust?
That is one of my favorite questions.
Why? Because I don't understand it.
Because our brains are fabulous, especially your child's brain. It's growing, it's doing extraordinary things as they develop. Our brains are wired for survival, happiness, satisfaction. So, you know, when you see a painting, let's imagine we're in the Louvre
Yeah.
and we're walking by and looking at paintings. We're not looking at them right here, right?
Yeah.
We're looking at them back here. Why
Yeah.
is that? Because when you get really close, you can't see
Right.
the image,
Mhm.
right? When you stand back, your brain puts
Puts
the
it together.
patterns together. And the bad guy does not. He's very educated in this. So the less information your child has about this person, the more their brain fills in their desires.
Oh, wow.
You know, they say don't meet your hero. Same idea. Because from a distance, you worship them.
Wow.
When you get up really close and actually know them, they're kind of just like everybody else, you know, and you lose that aura.
Wow, that's crazy.
So bad guys finesse this. And I'm afraid with AI, it's going to get even
Right. They're
more
gonna
precise.
paint the picture you want.
Only what you want, you know, no.
Wow.
And so anyhow, that's how they use it. And they'll use this push and pull. So they'll be completely accessible
Yeah.
and then nothing.
Wow.
That's like super glue
Wow.
for the brain, because all you do is think about them when they didn't respond.
Right.
All you do is replay your previous messages and cement them into your brain.
Yeah.
It's a magic trick.
Yeah.
And so as parents, we need to explain the magic trick.
Okay.
So, you know, if you go see one of these great magicians,
Musicians are good too, but it's not the same.
they do a little magic, you know, the way they move and stuff. But if you go see them and you go, oh my God, they made a plane disappear, you know, on top of a building. And then you find out the trick. Maybe it was mirrors, I don't know, projection, hologram, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that's not so magical. That's what the information we're doing here is to help you do, to pull down the magician's tricks and expose the illusion. And so that anonymity is part of the illusion.
Yeah, we came across one recently, you and I, where 3 different guys on a gaming system were talking to a girl, and the dad had the phone, and he's talking about the types of messages. And you said it, and I was not there. I'm sure the dad was not there either, where you said, it's probably the same person.
Oh, yes.
And that, for me, you know, as simple as that is, and when you said it, it became obvious, but you know, because their personalities were different on their texts. What a thought, you know.
Oh, yeah, because then it's a groupthink idea. It's he's so popular, one builds the other, and a chorus.
It was
you know,
amazing.
this chorus.
At the time, it was the first time I'd heard it, but that really explains this, where it becomes a powerful tool in manipulation as you think these are 3 different people.
Yeah.
Amazingly simple to replicate.
Simple, because it's all not really real.
There, yeah.
It's all text, you know, or even voices can be altered now. Even voices can, you know, they can take my voice and put it somewhere. In fact, there's a warning going around, you know, from the FBI about using your kid's voice to call and exploit many that they've been kidnapped or whatever. You know, that happened even to my parents.
Yeah. We get it every day.
My son was, you do,
Corporate gets it every day. Me, you know, my boss, we get, I mean, all the time, fake messages.
Yeah, it's very prolific, and you don't realize how prolific it is till it happens to you.
Right.
You're thinking, oh, that's, you know. So, yeah, it's happened to me, my family, you know, where they called and said my son needed bail money, and I laughed. I go, well, he has more than that already. Again, you know, but this is,
but yeah,
he's
you're
secure.
ready. You're ready for it.
He had already had a huge savings. He already had plenty of money. He wasn't in jail, but I was laughing. They wanted like, I don't know, $5,000 or something. Like, he's got more than that, you know.
Yeah.
So being secure was how I knew it wasn't my son. And, I mean, they didn't call me. They called a grandparent.
Yeah, and being
a grandparent with
again,
money.
Skepticism. Like, always check the email address. That's what we're always taught. And amazingly, sometimes they do a good job and it's very close to something.
I lately had one that actually had everything right, but I still knew
it was
from
wrong.
The content it was wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, you know, watch again why we have grandparents included. As my example was, they went to his grandparents that had money.
Huge target, grandparents.
Yeah, I mean, they aren't up to date on every scam.
Right.
So that's why I want to educate the grandparents as well. And the way it didn't work is, of course, luckily they called me. And of course, I knew none of it made sense. But it was interesting. They groomed the grandparents. It wasn't just a call.
Yeah.
And this is why I included grandparents in the book. Because they said he had been married within the last year. And they said, yeah, we saw you at the wedding. So that's like a public document. Okay, so you know, I was talking to the grandparents and trying to explain to them how they were being duped, because they were just like, save your son, save your son.
Yeah.
And I was like, so what was your response? Because they said, yeah, we saw you at the wedding. We're his friend. And the way she said it, the grandmother had gone back going, yeah, you were the tall one, right? Yeah, I was the tall one. She gave the information that the caller confirmed.
Sure. And I had to happen to me recently. I mean, because you get these abstract texts, and just I was like, I always assume someone's trafficked who's doing that. So I had a bit of an engagement, but it was comical how everything I said led into the next statement and future
mirroring
statements. It was like, oh my goodness, you people are ridiculous.
Yeah, like if you know this,
but
it's
if you
very
don't,
clear
it's
to
like,
see.
wow, how did you know?
Yeah,
So,
poor
yeah.
grandparents, they'd never dealt with what I do, but thank God they called me instead of just sending money.
Right.
So anyhow, the point being, they're going to mirror, and this leads into our next point about how kids and adults are groomed.
Yeah.
They're going to mirror your answers because, first of all, we have the abstractness, and you're starting to get, you know, interested, attached, thinking about them.
Right.
And so part of that conversation is, I'll use a real example. I was working with a 12-year-old, and she was sure she was talking to someone her age that was altering her mind and making her, and like, she was acting nuts, and her parents brought her to me, thank gosh. And so my job was to convince her this wasn't who she thought it was, because I knew it wasn't. I'd done my professional skepticism and found out it was an adult.
Yeah.
And so when I'm talking this 12-year-old trying to explain something that she can't comprehend, I went down the messages, and she said, yeah, and she even has an orange cat too. And I go, she's mirroring the answers. So I went through the responses, and you could see the child, when I hit one that made sense, she went, and the whole world crashed down on her.
You already told them this.
I was so...
Is that right? You walked her through and showed her a place where she'd said the information that they were
right. Well, I walked her through this series of messages from whatever the beginning was, blah, 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 to the orange cat. And the orange cat and maybe one other one hit her like a ton of bricks. And doom, 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 doom. Every answer had been one she'd provided.
Yeah.
Just like the grandmother had said, you're the tall one at the wedding. Yes, I was the tall one at the wedding.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. No, I'm the short one. You know, of course.
Yeah, whatever you say.
Yeah. So anyhow, and coincidentally, my son's best friend is really tall. It was just lucky.
Yeah.
And the guy stood out because he's tall. If you think about it logically, anyone could have mirrored this conversation.
And if you said no, you know, okay.
Yeah, no, I was the tall one's friend, the short guy. So anyhow, you sat up front, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was with the family.
Yeah.
You know, at a wedding. They sit up front. So anyhow, the point being is that mirroring is something you need to educate your kids on.
Right.
When they're talking to somebody, can they again, as they develop through age, understand the information they're giving out. Is it the same information coming back?
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't understand that, as I said, the target rarely can see it without someone else. You need to watch for that.
Mm.
You watch for the mirroring conversation.
Yeah.
You watch for the over love bombing.
Right.
You're the smartest person I've ever met.
So
I'm going to get you on Baywatch. You're so beautiful.
Yeah, we've talked about it, but you're saying it now, love bombing, because it is the terminology from cults. It's what they do, is they provide a better place than anywhere you've ever imagined.
Anywhere else.
And
Only
in fact,
us.
in the recovery process, it's one of the funny things is that untangling that is very complicated because it felt so good.
Yeah, it's a death
so
to the victim.
Even engaging, and this is something I've seen you do, but engaging directly in as a normal parent, knowing something's going on. There's training that I say you give.
Yes.
To help parents know, don't be jumping in the way you normally would. Can you talk to that for a bit?
Yeah, so this comes to our next stage. Let's say you've recognized the last two, or we're in the second one, but you've recognized those high points, the isolation, the anger, the somebody only that person can provide what this kid needs and whatever.
Yeah.
And now you're to the point, okay, I've got something full blown.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's dicey.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing you can do is what you want to do.
Yeah.
You as a parent want to say, that person's bad.
Right.
And you're in trouble.
And what could be wrong with that?
Oh my gosh. That is what they expect. They have prepared for you to be on script. I always talk about parents being on script.
Right.
You are on script.
You're
that the bad guy wrote.
Exactly. They knew when they started this day was coming.
Yes, and they've been building for that. Yeah, your mom's always mad at you, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't do anything right, can you?
She doesn't like your friends.
Yeah. And
she doesn't know.
She just doesn't understand.
Yeah.
So when you come and go, this guy's bad.
Right.
And you're right. I don't disagree with you.
But you're doing what they said you ought to do.
And this comes from, just an aside here to explain why.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence schemes, con schemes.
Mm-hmm. Kind
of like the call you're saying to jail. It's a con scheme, right?
Yeah.
It's confidence. Con stands for confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So the target is really confident that they've got all the information.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come with information that conflicts with the grooming,
mm-hmm.
then you have actually pushed them into the groomer's corner.
Right.
We're all got some ego. We've all got some time invested in something we really want. And the last thing you want is that bad news.
Mm-hmm.
And so by coming and saying he's a bad guy, you have now made them a teammate.
Right. And they've been trying to lead towards that your parents are the bad guys.
Correct. And
so when they feel threatened
don't trust
because you're becoming the adult and you are this great person, they're going to come after me.
Correct. Because I can provide this thing that no one else can provide, and they're jealous of you.
Mm.
And so they've been building that without your knowledge over time. So you're going to step into that trap if you do that. And what parent doesn't?
Right.
I mean, without help.
Yeah.
That's what happens. So there's a lot to this. I probably couldn't train what I know in a week. But what I'm telling you is get help.
Right.
Don't start there because that's what they want. What you do want to do is get off the script.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, I usually review the messages, review what's going on, talk to siblings, family, witnesses, whoever I have access to.
Yeah.
Without pushing this kid off the cliff,
Mm-hmm.
meaning towards the bad guy. And then I devise a plan of how we're going to disrupt that action and get the parents off script.
Okay.
So the parents do the work. I just guide them.
Okay.
And that's really important to start there because you don't want to super glue them together.
Yeah. So I wanted to say that in this context because what I don't want to do is have someone get through this show and go, thanks, I got it.
Yeah.
So I wanted that in there. But
Thank you.
Is there anything in the journey to there that we've missed that you think of that's critical for parents and grandparents and friends and anyone connected to children?
I think the biggest thing is if your gut feels something's wrong, you're right. And I hope you'll also teach that to your children, because sometimes we, especially our society, it doesn't really launch into that kind of metaphysical idea. But I've not found it to be incorrect. And even once the kids get out of the days of being groomed, they will come up with, yeah, that first time I met them, I didn't feel right, but, he promised me this, so I pushed past it. So I really want to honor that gut feeling that people get. And it's different from a doubt or a thought. It's actually
right, you can
inside.
Feel it. Well, and I'd like to ask this. If you have a gut feeling about someone or a person and you create some kind of boundary, that should be telling the response of the person.
Yes.
That person just goes, oh, yeah, no problem.
Exactly. And in building your child's life skills for everything, whether it's business or selecting a partner in life or finance or whatever, that's what boundaries are.
Yeah.
They're protection, but they're also a little bit of a test. My husband had to ride my horse before I go out with him. My horse didn't like him.
Trust the horse more than yourself.
Yeah, because the horse is so in tune to us. They're prey animals.
I love this idea because I have a general belief that we shouldn't trust ourselves that much.
Not in love. You need an outside person.
All. Like it's one of those, my closest friends, that's how we became close, was I said, hey, I'd like you not to trust me because I don't trust myself very much. And that's just healthy.
Especially with big decisions and life partners, you need to listen to the chorus, which is your friends, your family, pastor, maybe your teachers, whoever. And this will move us to a next solution. But whoever is around you, if you're starting to isolate for a person, whether it turns out to be domestic violence or trafficking or whatever, it's a huge red flag. Now, I know when you first meet someone, you want to spend a lot of time together.
Right.
But you don't want to give up your entire life either. So this is, again, healthy to start building in your children a skill set that will carry them through all parts of life.
And to use your community well, to build a community around you, not to be an isolated person, which I personally, like, there's a few of my personality traits which make it like I would like to be alone, like that. I have that. I'm more of a, and what I learned, that's not true. That's an unhealthy solution for me. What I need is to have times where I'm alone.
Yeah, it's
and
not
I
completely
need to
alone.
learn to pull people into my life, and so that's, those are things where people have excuses for behavior or things, but we need to know that integration with society is important for all of us, to have networks, to have boundaries with people, to have, self-care, that a lot of information about you and your family is around the family. There's going to be feedback that's good for you and hard. I think those are healthy, building healthy families, because I really see everyone isolating by technology.
Counter to that. And when, let's say we come up on that guy and I go, don't say he's bad, please, zip your lip, walk around the room, because we're going to be a little smarter and maneuver back in those things that heal somebody. Remind that person of who they were a year ago. Remind them of their accomplishments in their sport. Yeah. This is how you combat without saying he's a bad guy.
Right.
Because he wants you to say he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
We all know he's a bad guy, so we don't really have to say it.
It's almost reminding people of themselves, who they are.
Unraveling that brainwashing.
Who loves them, what is true.
Yeah,
I know
what really feels good.
With teens, we went through old photographs.
Yeah.
Because they thought their childhood was terrible. And you're like, oh, look at us smiling here. Look at us. What is happening here? The feelings are not true.
Yeah, they've rewritten them during that isolation, food deprivation, sleep deprivation. In that also there'll be a trauma induced somewhere, and while they're traumatized, they rewrite that childhood history where the parents are the bad guys. Yeah. So as soon as they say he's the bad guy, it just blows back on the parents.
Yeah, no, it's you.
Yeah. See, he was right. Now you're like, I'm packing my bag and going with him. Yeah. The truth is here. So instead of saying he's a bad guy, we have to use our parental skepticism. Yeah. Which isn't it's proving that. So you don't say he's a bad guy.
Right.
You go, but you were happy as a child.
Yeah.
Remember that trip to Six Flags?
Right.
And I'm a fan of a long ride in a car,
Yeah.
you know, before the kid goes missing.
Yeah.
Because they'll be quiet the first hour or two.
Yeah.
But eventually...
I did that with my son. I put
You might have to drive a long way.
I put a mattress in the back of the car and started driving till we got to Amarillo.
That's a long drive.
Right. And then I got out with spray cans with the Cadillac Ranch, where you're allowed to spray paint the cars.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
With my troubled teenage kid. I didn't even ask him if he was coming. He's like, what are you doing? But it was the beginning of the talking.
Right. Once that first word comes out, it goes. But you've got to do the time with that silence and a good car ride, plane ride. I had one that victim was really wealthy. And my dream, we didn't do it because it's like $8,000 an hour. But her dad was a pilot, and I just wanted to put her in a private jet and just circle. So nobody could interfere, because this was a really bad group of people. And, you know, short of that is a car ride. If you could just cut off the internet, get rid of the phone.
That's the call, you know, for us, is get people to see their role in this, whoever you are. There's work for us all to do. Okay, now I'm going to ask you the hard thing. What did we just talk about in this? Let's sum up episode 2.
Episode 2.
Okay, what did we just talk about?
Well, we bounced off of homework. From episode 1, that you need to be involved.
So AI first. We talked
and
AI.
Looking at AI and saying, now the internet has become an F1 Formula race car, and my kid has the keys. So how do I pull those keys back?
So kid skepticism as well as parent skepticism. We were on parent skepticism in episode 1.
And then we're going to train the kids those same skills throughout their life, not just trafficking.
Yeah.
But how am I not duped? And so that is, why is someone nice to me? Is there a reason? Does it make sense? Have I done a little due diligence around them?
Yep.
My friends.
Yep.
Somebody targeted them. Do I need to tell somebody?
Yep. Being tech savvy. That was in this episode.
No excuse not to be tech savvy. YouTube's got a video for everything.
Time is critical.
Time is.
You've got to invest in your kids in this space.
Yes. If you don't, someone's going to invest in your time for you. And you don't want that.
And then relationally, being connected yourself, being connected to others.
Win-win.
Yeah.
Win-win. Take a trip with your kid in a car.
That's good.
Drive out to West Texas, one of my favorite places. You know, wherever you are. What's your favorite place? Long road trip, beautiful scenery, a lot of internet outages.
Yeah.
Shoot for that. Why wouldn't you? We only get, I read, they said you get like 75 Christmases and all that. I'm going to go for 90, but you get 90 Christmases, 90 Easters, 90, New Year's.
Yeah.
With your kid, you get, 18 to 25 maybe of those that they spend with you, and then they get their own family. And you'll be with them. I'm not saying they're gone, but it's different once they start having their own family. Why would you work so hard that you miss a day of that?
Okay.
And so invest your time wisely. Invest your time in your kids, or you're going to get it invested for you.
So that wraps up episode 2.
Yes.
We're going to come back for episode 3. Your homework, spend time with the kids.
Yeah, take a trip.
Yeah.
Call in sick to work. What a surprise. It'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, bosses.
Use your time. You get time off, use it well.
Yeah.
Life is exhausting. There's always time for this. So make sure you get time, do some tech learning, spend time with your kids, and let's get better at this. And we will catch you next time. Thanks, Dottie.
Thank you.